of this company of witnesses, to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony, which is an honorable estate, instituted of God in the Garden of Eden, signifying unto us the mystical union between Christ and his church, who unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, discreetly, advisedly, soberly, and in the fear of God. Into this holy estate, Dee and Greg come now to be forever joined. Gregory Allen Lazenby, wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded wife, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto her, so long as you both shall live? I will. Dolores Marie Elizabeth DeFeo, wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband, to live together after God's ordinance in the holy estate of matrimony? Wilt thou love him, comfort him, honor and keep him, in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto him, so long as you both shall live?
I will.
Inasmuch as Greg and Dee have pledged their deep and abiding love each to the other, it behooves us to ask the question, what is love? We turn now to the 13th chapter of 1 Corinthians, where the Apostle Paul gives us his most eloquent answer. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but it rejoices in the truth. It bears all things. It believes all things. It hopes all things. It endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to its end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now, we see in a mirror, dimly. But then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part. Then will I know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now faith, hope, and love abide. These three. But the greatest of these is love. The dreams, the desires, the goals, the ambitions of the other are put on an equal basis with one's own dreams and ambitions and goals. Thus the Christian couple is called to have and to hold, never to have and to hassle. Marriage is not meant to be a continuous battle of wits and wills, but a haven of support and love and encouragement. Home is a place where one's self-esteem and self-confidence is to be built up, not falsely, but genuinely. A place where one's faults and warts are exposed, and we are loved anyway. Because Jesus has forgiven us, we are free to forgive others. In a word, Christian marriage is a covenant, not a contract. A contract says, if you remain healthy, slim, young, rich, and if you promise to do everything to please me, but never anything to displease me, I will continue to love you, or until a better offer comes along. The Christian marriage is patterned after a better model. The love of Jesus Christ for his church is standing in front of her bride. Marriage, is hard work, as much as it is wedded bliss. The last couple to live happily ever after were Snow White and Prince Charming. The problem in marriage is not the love. The problem is that love cannot carry the burden alone. If asked the question, why are you getting married? Most couples would respond with the answer, because we love one another. Astonishing as it may sound, love is not enough of a reason to get married. Does that shock anyone? Most every marriage broken by divorce was at one time established by love. What does it mean to say, I love you? I also love spaghetti. Because the guy is tall, dark, and handsome, as Greg is, it's not reason enough to marry him. One of my favorite theologians, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was made a martyr by Hitler in World War II, had this to say: just as it is the crown and not merely the will to rule that makes the king, so it is with marriage. It is not merely your love for each other that joins you together in the sight of God and man. The sanctity of marriage is above the promise of love. It is not your love that sustains marriage, but from now on, your marriage that sustains your love. Thus, marriage gives love a situation of permanence and stability. D, marriage rescues love from the tyranny of emotion. It forces a person to look for a way through, not a way out. Thus, from God's point of view, love is not the basis of marriage. It is the fruit, the result of a successful marriage. Marriage, therefore, has less to do with romance. 3 cows for her, even 2, if Johnny insisted. After all, he was probably never going to get rid of her. Why Johnny had chosen her, nobody knew. He could have had his pick of any girl on the island. Johnny came and asserted his proposition. I'll give you no more than 8 cows for her. Take it or leave it. Her father was flabbergasted, and at once accepted before Johnny regained his wits. Johnny took Sarita home. A few months later, Johnny had house guests. His visitors noticed a lovely young female dancing through their home. Her hair glowed. It had flowers. She smiled so beautifully, spoke as an angel. She was an example of perfect hospitality. She was erect and full of energy. They asked, "Who is this?" "She is the most beautiful woman we have ever seen." Johnny beamed with pride. "Thank you. This is my Sarita." What transformed her? One that looked at her and saw her potential. One that freed her from the restraints that had bound her. One that valued her, gave her self-esteem and dignity and confidence and love, so that she was free to soar and be all that she was created to be. This is what Christ has done for his bride, the church. And Greg, this is now your task. D is your Sarita. D, to my wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
so long as we both shall live,
so long as we both shall live,
according to God's holy ordinance.
according to God's holy ordinance.
And thereto
And thereto
I pledge thee my promise.
I pledge thee my promise.
He take Greg's right hand and repeat after me. I thee take thee, Greg, to my wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, so long as we both shall live, according to God's holy ordinance. And thereto I pledge thee my promise. A pledge
As a pledge
and in token
and